What's going on, guys? Matty O'Daddy Mining here. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Happy Friday to all of you, guys that are watching this on its actual release date. So today we are going to talk about overclocking the KS0 Ultra. As I said when I got my first KS0 Ultra, that overclocks were probably most likely right around the corner, and I'm kind of kicking myself right now. When I purchased these, I didn't get their standard power supply that they give you with Iceriver. I figured we would need to upgrade, and so I went ahead and I purchased 180 watt power supplies. And I was kicking myself because I was like, they're going to overclock these like crazy probably, and I should probably just bite the bullet and get the 230 watt, but it's so expensive. I mean, like the 230 watt I think was like $60 or $70 each, and I got 3 KS0 Ultras, and I just didn't feel like spending the money on it, so I got the 180 watt. So kind of kicking myself. I knew as I was doing it too that, well, you're going to buy the 180 watt and then you're going to end up buying the 230 watt. So yeah, that's just a dumb decision on my part, but whatever. Okay, so this is where you will get the software from T-Swift's Telegram page. I will leave the link to this down below. You can download whatever firmware version according to whatever device that you have. So once you get to the Telegram page, you will find one of T-Swift's posts that list out all the information regarding the firmware upgrade. So what you need to do is, click here where it says here. So I'm doing the developer fee version. So this is the one where you don't have to pay KASPA up front. You just send half of a percentage to the developers. So you click here. No, it just takes you back up here. There we go. Download links right here. So this is what you would click on, and it's going to take you to T-Swift's Google Drive, where it will pull your firmware for you. I'll just do it real quick. So you click on that. Here's that. You click on download, and then it goes. I'm not actually going to completely do it because I already downloaded. Never mind, I am going to do it. So then you click on download. This will pop up. It's going to say, hey, this doesn't seem right. Are you sure you want to download this? Click, yep, download anyway. I'm not going to click it because I've already downloaded it. So let's get out of here. I did one device last night. I did the lowest version possible, and that's giving me an extra 120 gig of hash. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so when you open the software, not the software, but the zip folder, it'll show up like this. You'll need to extract it. You can right click, extract all. I'm sure everybody here knows how to extract a zip file. Okay, so you click on that, come here, open the README. This is extremely important. I cannot emphasize this enough. Read the README file. And whatever you do, for the love of God, do not just get this thing and go for the 700 gig of hash update. I will go over that more in just a minute. Okay, so we're going to talk very briefly about the README file. This is definitely something that everybody needs to just read on their own. I will go over the highlights, though. Okay, so all of these warnings, go over them. Do not, under any circumstances, reset this thing to factory settings. This is not like the previous KS0s, the KS0 Pro and the KS0 Original. Before, if we ran into an issue, you could factory reset it and it would go back to the way that it was before with the original firmware. This will not work. If you factory reset in this way, you will brick your device. And then, of course, more of the warnings say that obviously overclocking comes with inherent risk. Make sure if you are overclocking your device to the higher end of the overclocks, you want to make sure to mod your device with the heat sinks on the MOSFETs, and possibly take out the existing fans, the onboard fans. You'll need to do passive cooling with a plastic shroud and what is it? It's an inline fan. One of the fans that just blow through it. You guys have seen those before on the KS0 Pros. You know what I'm talking about. Also, do not attempt to hook a 12-volt server power supply up to this thing unless you are proficient with soldering. you can fry it. And the last warning, do not do the 700 gigahash firmware upgrade unless you have exceptional cooling, a strong 330 watt power supply, and you are willing to potentially brick this machine in pursuit of the 700 gigahash screenshot flex. You've been warned. So pretty much what they're saying about this is setting it to 700 gigahash is not sustainable. You will eventually fry your device. Now, I could totally see somebody like Red Panda Mining or one of those guys, Greater Good Mining, doing it just for the grins of doing it. I mean, these guys get free hardware sent to them all the time. So, hey, I would totally do it if I was them just to get that done and see how it goes and just see what happens. But for those of us that are home mining and these devices are hard-earned money, I cannot stress hard enough, do not do the 700 gigahash firmware upgrade. Okay, so device modifications, I will let you guys go through this. It's the same as the KS0 Pro, and we did overclocks for that. Remove the sides so you can increase airflow for cooling, blah, 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 blah. I'll let you guys read that. Okay, so here are the firmware requirements as far as power supplies go. So the first overclock one will get you up to 505 gigahash at 150 watts. You will need a 165 watt power supply. This is the one that I am currently on right now. Then the next one is 562 gigahash with a 170 watt power supply, 618 gigahash with a 200 watt power supply. This is where I wish I got the 230 watt right here. But, what you going to do? Hindsight is 2020. And at the top of the thing before we go to fry and egg mode is 676 gigahash at 235 watts. And then, of course, if you want to fry an egg on it like Red Panda, you got the 700 gigahash at 280 to 300 watts. You'll need a 330 watt power supply for that. And again, only do that if you again, as he said above, if you want the flex of saying, hey, I got 700 gigahash. I mean, if you are okay with frying your KS0 Ultra, potentially starting a fire, whatever, that's up to you. Again, I strongly suggest do not do this. Okay, upgrade instructions. So the upgrade process is actually very easy. Okay, so here is what we need to do. First of all, I am going to bring up one of my other KS0 Ultras that I have not upgraded yet. I have 3 of them. I did the first one last night kind of just as a test batch to see what's going on, see how it works. It's a very simple process, so I'm going to bring up my second KS0 Ultra, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, I am in my KS0 Ultra, the second one. I really hope T-Swift did a better job than Iceriver with the fans. I hope he did something with the fans in here. Probably not, because really what you need to do is when you go in here, you need to set them to 100%. But this is unacceptable right here. My fans are not even on. I have a box fan blowing on it to try to keep the temperatures down in case it rebooted. Because I've manually set these settings a bunch of times, and it seems either I lose network or I lose power and they reboot, or I don't know, something goes on where my fan speed no longer sticks. So that's the other thing that is definitely important about getting that, like the fan that blows through the device, especially if that's just running on separate power by itself, the inline fans, because if it were to reboot and you got this thing overclocked and for whatever reason your fans don't kick on, I mean you're gonna have a bad day. So definitely make sure that you guys get proper cooling. I will be ordering one myself. Actually, I think I might. What the hell, did they not stick? 100. Did I hit save up here? I probably hit save up here. I'm an idiot. So anyways, I will be ordering those cooling kits. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to check out the cost of it to see how much for all 3. Actually, I have a 4th KS0 Ultra coming. Actually, I probably plan on ordering 1 or 2 more after that as well. But anyways, I'm going to see if how much it's going to cost me just to buy the setup for it, as far as the like the plastic part that's 3D printed. I've been talking about wanting to get my hands on a 3D printer for quite some time and just have never pulled the trigger on it. And I have a file that can 3D print these, and it's kind of at that point it was like, okay, well, if it's going to be cheaper or about the same price, I might as well just buy a 3D printer and bite that bullet finally and get it myself and do it. Okay, sorry, I'm rambling. Okay, so let's get this thing upgraded. So what we need to do, you need to get into your KS0 Ultra, obviously, put in your username, password, go to firmware upgrade, select file. The first thing you want to do is you want to do this INIT file right here. Select that, open, update. Okay, and when it is done doing its thing, you will see this operation succeeded. Don't be alarmed. It kind of freezes there for a second while it's doing the update. I want to say it might take anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds for this operation succeeded pop-up to appear. So don't be alarmed if it's taken a little longer than you thought it would. Okay, so after you hit OK, it's going to ask you if you want to reboot. Absolutely. Hit OK. And then wait for this thing to cycle back, and I'll see you when it's back up. Okay, I have enough time to go by. We should be back up. Let's go back to home, verify that we are back up. Okay, yep, we've been up for 27 seconds now. Good. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is go back to firmware upgrade. Select file again. Now you are going to choose your upgrade firmware files. You have all the different versions here of the different hash rates, and each hash rate has 3 different files. So you want to start with the one that ends in an L first. Okay, so you have 505 gigahash L, 505 gigahash normal, and then 505 gigahash H. So these 3 files for the same firmware upgrade are different voltages. So it stands for, the L stands for low power, the H stands for high power, and then the one without a letter is just kind of middle of the road. So you always want to start with the low voltage one first. Okay, so which one did I want? So 505. I'm going to try the 562 on this one because if I remember right, this one we could do with a 180 watt power supply. Where are you at? 562. Yep. Okay. So on my first one I have on 505. So I'm going to bump this thing up to 562 because my power supply can handle it. I don't have an actual high performance fan blowing air through the unit, but I do have a box fan blowing on all of them right now, and it's been keeping the temps down pretty good. It's doing great temperatures for the 505 so far, so I think I don't have an issue bumping it up to 562 just to see what happens. Okay, so we want to do 562GL. Okay, so 562GL for low voltage. Open that. And again, the low voltage, high voltage, all that stuff is laid out in the README file. Again, familiarize yourself with that thing. A lot of good information in there. Okay, and then you're going to click Update, and then we're going to wait again. Okay, I think I've allotted enough time to go by again, so let's see if we are back up and running. Okay. Oh, I'm an idiot. Yeah, I totally forgot to... okay, so we're going to restart now, and then we'll be back up in a few minutes. Okay, now I think I've let enough time go by. So I'm not going to edit any of this stuff out. I leave all my mistakes in there. You know, I figure if somebody can learn from my oopses, that is a good thing. So, okay, let's hit OK. Bring this back up. Let's go to home and see if we are back online yet, which we are. We've been up for 1 minute 9 seconds. Okay, no accepted shares yet. So this thing, it doesn't really kick in until, I think, like 10 minutes or so. And also, with this free version of the Overclock upgrades, as I said before, there is a 0.5% going to the devs for this. And if for whatever reason that the dev is not able to get their connection for their 0.5%, it's going to automatically reboot the device. So if that happens, you always need to make sure to check your network connection. Okay, so we're going to let this bake for 10 minutes or so, and I'll come back and we'll see what our hash rate is at. Okay, so waiting for this thing to come back up, as I said before. And while we're waiting, we need to set our fans to 100%. You need to go to mining settings. Make sure you check this box here. Change that to 100. And then hit save down here. Don't do it up here. I did it up here earlier, and obviously that doesn't work. So save down here. Okay. 2 minutes, 36 seconds. There we go. Our fan RPMs are up. These temps should start coming down a little bit. We should start getting accepted shares here. So again, this about the 10-minute mark is where we'll start seeing stuff. So I'll be back with you when we're at about 10 minutes. Okay, something is screwy. Because I went back here, and you saw my fans a few seconds ago were at almost 6,000 RPMs. So I refreshed the page again, and it's down to 2,300. I went back here to mining settings, and it's set at 45. You saw me set it at 100. What the heck? Let's try this again. Operation succeeded. Okay, home. Okay, we're back up now. So let's keep an eye on this and see what the heck happens. We are starting to get some accepted shares. We are showing a hash rate of 355 at about the 7-minute marks. We'll give it a little bit longer to see if we can hit that target hash rate. Okay, it's been a few minutes again, so let's refresh this and let's make sure our fans stay here. Let's see if this temp goes down, 83 and 47, and we'll see if we're achieving the gigahash that we want. 535. Not quite what I was thinking. 72, temp's coming down a little bit. We'll let this thing bake for a little bit longer and see what the heck happens. So, according to the README file, T-Swift suggests to let this thing run for an hour, so that way it gives you two times to hit that 30-minute hash rate. And if you hit your target, your target gigahash, so if we hit 565 or something like that, within plus or minus 10% of that area, that's successful. And if it's not successful, say if we're stuck here at 535, then the next thing would be to try the next file version. So we're on the 562. Okay, so the first one you try is the 562GL, the low voltage one. So the next one, if this does not work, if this does not give us the gigahash that we want, we need to try a different version with a higher voltage overclock. So the next one that we would do is this 562G, just the standard one. And then if we still don't hit our desired hash rate on this, then we would try the 562GH, the high voltage one. So we'll let this thing bake for an hour, and we'll see where we're at. So we'll see you guys in about 45 minutes-ish. Okay, we're sitting at about an hour and 9 minutes. We are at 562 gigahash for the 5 minutes, 541 for the 30 minutes. So that's pretty dang good. I'm liking that. Temp is, actually 70 is not too bad. Definitely think I'm going to need to get a better cooling system to take this down just a little bit. But I think this is okay. I think once you get up in like the 80s, that's kind of gets a little bit much. So the last thing I want to check out is power consumption. So I'm going to switch over to the phone real quick, and I will see you for that. Okay, let's go take a look at the power consumption on this thing. Sorry about my messy basement. I just saw a 180 on there. I don't like that. 175, 177. I think, according to the file, the README file and that T-Swift sent, I think this one's target temp was 170. If it's something else, I'll throw something on the screen that says the correct wattage. But yeah, 173, 175. I did see a 180, as I said, when I was walking up. This is on a 180 watt power supply, so we're right at this thing's threshold, and that's a little bit too close for comfort. You fry this thing, or you run this thing at its peak, at its all, there's a possibility that you could fry this thing. Really, you want to stay within the 80% rule. So you only want to use, there just hit 180 again. So you want to stay within 80% of your power supply's full power. Otherwise you could damage it or start a fire or whatever. So T-Swift recommends a 180 power supply for this firmware setting. Honestly, guys, I gotta say, I suggest a 230 watt, just to be on the safe side, just to stay within that 80% rule. So I mean, really, if I was within the 80% rule, I'd be at like 150 for my target watt usage. So yeah, so what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna dial it back to the 505 gigahash firmware version, because this is too much. This is too close for comfort right here. Oh yeah, look at that. So I will leave links in the description down below for you guys to purchase power supplies. I'll have every version down there. I'll have the 180 watt down there, the 230 watt version, and the 330. I'll put a 280 in there too if I can find one. But yeah, so as I said, links to the power supplies are in the links below, or I'm sorry, links to the power supplies are in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. If this content helped you out, or if you enjoyed it, throw me a like, throw me a subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to check this out. Everybody have a wonderful day. We'll catch you next time.